My friend forced me to try Pikmin Bloom last summer. Now I'm obsessed. It's a walking game where your steps grow these cute little pets that follow you around as you explore the world. Jam-packed schedules full of classes and activities. I've always been a daily 10K enjoyer. But then, I went skiing, fell, and tore my ACL. No more walking or Pikmin for a while. Thankfully, I got surgery, but the feature that really made me hooked was being able to plant various kinds of colorful flowers along your walking path. Something about it is just so satisfying. So, what if we made it reality? I designed this little ankle gadget with a motorized flower dispenser. Just drop in some flowers, attach your favorite Pikmin decor, and take some steps to drop flowers along your path. By the way, this video was not sponsored by Pikmin Bloom or Nintendo, although I really wish for it. But as always, I hope you enjoy learning more about the design process and get inspired to ideate, create, and most importantly, go outside and touch grass. First, I breadboarded the circuit using an Arduino Uno, shock sensor, stepper motor, and passive buzzer. When the sensor detects an abrupt jerk in motion, a stomp, the stepper motor turns. For the Pikmin sound, I use a tuner to pick out the specific frequencies for the buzzer to replicate. Oh, you'll be like, now it just sounds like I'm entering a convenience store. I would have used a real recorder speaker module, but there's no time to order new parts, so I'm just gonna have to work with what I have here. This is the circuit diagram. I happen to have an ESP32 Beetle and lithium-ion battery that are perfect for building wearables. And in the code, I've set a value for the number of steps before triggering a flower drop. Not totally accurate though. And now for 3D printing. Thanks to my lab's equipment for all this development, but to compensate, I'll donate my unused electronic parts and filaments from old projects and do some cleaning so the floor is no longer crunchy. Took a couple of revisions, but look, it fits almost perfectly in here. Finally, I can screw in the lid. Why did I choose such long screws? Found some magnets I'll use for the wheel-to-motor connection. The gold piece is designed to interface with the stepper motor shaft, while the wheel contains 6 sections for flowers to be loaded into. Pikmin come in 8 colors: red fire, yellow electric, light blue ice, dark blue water, pink wing, purple buff, white poison, and gray rock. Other than white, we only have sparkly red and shiny gold filament here for Pikmin decor options. Even though my favorite Pikmin is the adorable tiny winged one, I'll settle for the classics. I wanted a more expressive Pikmin, but I couldn't find a suitable option on various 3D model sites. Guess I'll have to generate my own. I found an image of the Pikmin on its side and used an AI site to turn it 3D. It actually worked pretty well. Now obviously there's still plenty of errors to correct, like all the extra fingers and toes coming out. But still, I'll use AI when it can enhance human productivity. I set it up as a multicolor print, but if you don't have a multi-material unit or multiple extruders, you can honestly print these pieces separately and then glue together. Couldn't decide on the red or yellow Pikmin, so I ended up making both, and having an interchangeable and magnetic connection. Oh, I ended up reprinting the main box in green because it just looks a lot more vibrant. So now, let's go outside and find some flowers. Since I recently graduated, in just like 2 weeks, I'll have to leave the Hopkins campus that's been my home for the past 4 years. And yet, this is the first time I've truly noticed and appreciated the diverse flower types that stay blooming past spring. I feel bad picking flowers directly off their stems, so at first I tried scavenging for anything that might have fallen off. But it was rare, and it's not like I can just litter fake flowers made of paper or plastic everywhere I go, so I'm sorry, I'll just borrow a few of you guys. Let's load up the cartridge, snap it to the motor, strap on the box, and take a few steps. Uh-oh, the weight of the gadget is just too heavy that it slides down. It seems my only option is to wear it on my knee brace. Given the uncomfortability and slowness, sometimes it's hard to motivate myself to go outside and walk around to rehabilitate my knee. But with this, every step is much more exciting. I'm clear for flying now, so let's go test this out in the lands where Pikmin Bloom players are insanely populated. Yeah, Pikmin Bloom originated in Japan, but somehow these Taiwanese players can be even more competitive. I've seen news of players going crazy for freebies. Well, I don't need to wear my brace anymore, so the only way to get this to stay is by wearing it higher up on my leg. Kind of messed up with the design though, since after the strap slips out, it's really difficult to thread it back through, so I had to improvise with a rubber band. And also, with how small these flowers are, you need a microscope to see it fall. Okay, I'll stop criticizing my own work when it was all just for fun, but click on the link in the description if you want to make improvements on my design. On the topic of travel, when I was in Japan earlier this April, my friend took me to see Team Lab in Tokyo, and he became one of my inspirations for wanting to build an interactive flower-themed gadget. I can thank Pikmin Bloom for making me interested in identifying different kinds of flowers and for changing my perspective about walking. Now, 10,000 steps a day is just the norm, and an hour-long walk isn't a chore but an opportunity to exercise and be at peace with the environment. You never realize how much you can take even the most basic things like walking for granted until they suddenly lose that ability. So keep walking as much as you can every day and cherish the beauty of nature. Thank you for watching!